Throughout the entire Last of Us story, we as the audience were to believe that Ellie was the only immune person in the entire world. This made her character vital to the story and the savior to humanity. However, recently I was thinking, what if Ellie was not the only immune person in the world? What if it's possible that there is somebody else who has this genetic immunity to the virus? In this video, we are going to explore that possibility and see if this could be true. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Also, spoilers for The Last of Us and The Last of Us Part 2 ahead of us. So throughout the entire game of The Last of Us, we believe Ellie is a variable asset because she's immune to a virus that's been around for about 20 years now. This serves as the main goal of the story and makes her character not only special but crucial to the world. You see, the only reason we know she is immune is because she's bitten and she survives, and on top of that, she is 14 years old. So Ellie was born about 6 years after the outbreak happened and grew up in this world, making her generation one of the few that were born into the apocalypse. Her parents had to be in their late 20s or early 30s when they had her, similar to Joel's age in the beginning of the game. Most likely they were in their early 20s or late teens when the outbreak day did happen. So altogether, her parents were sort of in between Joel and Sarah's generation, but were also transitioned into the apocalypse. Her mother was a nurse and died giving birth to Ellie, and nothing is known about her father, which is why she is given to Marlene. This is actually really important because her immunity comes from genetics, meaning either her mom or her dad was immune to the cordyceps virus. However, we as the audience don't know if Ellie has any siblings or half siblings. It is never really mentioned within the game. Marlene doesn't mention this either to Joel or Ellie that at least that we know of, and to me this is interesting because there's potential for a story here. If her mom and dad had another child possibly earlier, then that means that that child might also have the immunity. Furthermore, if her mom wasn't the one with the genetic immunity and her father was, there is potential that her dad could be alive and possess that same natural immunity as well. Now this is very interesting because this would mean Ellie is not the only person within this universe that has this special cure for the cordyceps. And to play devil's advocate, I know there can be an argument to say, what if her dad died and she also didn't have any siblings? Well, my other rebuttal would be, what if her mom and dad had like sort of family, like cousins, brothers and sisters on their side, and that would mean Ellie would have aunts, uncles that could potentially have this natural immunity. Another question would be, what if Ellie has a child? Would he or she still have an immunity towards the cordyceps virus? In this instance, I'm assuming yes. I think this would be very interesting because I don't see this question brought up in any sort of capacity within the given years. So is there a chance that any of this could be possible? Well, I think it's just assumed that Ellie is by herself and she does not have any family to her knowledge, and that to me is very much interesting. You see, with Joel, we know it's only him and Tommy, so he does have his brother. But again, we don't really get a clear answer if Ellie has any relatives that survived the apocalypse. So honestly, there could be potential that there are more people out there with immunity than we think, and Joel really wasn't lying at the end of the first game. What if Ellie wasn't the only person who had this mutation? What if other people in her specific generation have this mutation, but we do not know because, hey, I've never been bit before? To me, this raises a lot of questions and changes of what we know about the Last of Us universe. However, there are theories out there that her mom was bitten right before she gave birth to Ellie, and her dad was bitten right before they conceived Ellie. As much as I would love to believe those theories and would explain how Ellie became immune, it wouldn't make sense to how the virus spreads within the body and how those rules work within the Last of Us universe. However, I think this is very important to talk about. Ellie's body is not fighting the infection. We know this from the surgeon's recordings inside of the hospital and all of his files. It also shows that the cordyceps had not extended to her spinal fluid or her limbic regions, which also tells us that Ellie's fungus is valuable and they will possibly need, but that might not make sense if your immune system is not fighting the virus. Essentially, you're not getting rid of this type of cordyceps virus, it's just being dormant in your body and deemed not malicious. My question is, who has this fungus? Why not dissect an infected person and do some tests and try to recreate the same exact fungus? Overall, though there might be people with the same mutation, we as the audience / players do not know. Ironically, there could be potential for the generation after Ellie to develop this type of immunity. If this was to happen, this could mean that there could be some restoration when it comes to the apocalypse, and we could have a solution which could be evolution. Now, in terms of the story, I'm not sure if Naughty Dog will go down this route because it sort of would not make sense to Ellie's character. Like, in terms of her being special and, you know, the whole premise of the first game. I think that the purpose of the first game was to show her, and it's up to Faith and her chance to guide her. This is something in the story that is important because chance is what makes things interesting. Like, it was a chance that Ellie would die. It was a chance that there wasn't a vaccine and they were about to kill Ellie. It was a chance that Joel bumped into Abby. I think this is very important to talk about because personally I think there's a chance that Ellie might not be the only person that is immune, and the way Joel told her at the end of the first game might not be incorrect. I think this is another aspect of the story that needs to be explored within this big universe that Naughty Dog has built out. I also think it's a matter of time before more people who are immune start to show up within this universe. Overall, we find out that maybe Ellie might not be the only immune person, although Naughty Dog has not given us a definitive answer. However, I would love to know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. It's been your boy Beast, and I'll see you guys in the next video.